Hey, the Benoni defense starts with c5 here, and when white plays d5, then black usually plays e6, and b5 is a signal move of the Benko Gambit or the Volga Gambit. So if we combine these both, then we're dealing with the Blumenfeld Gambit. There's not a whole lot of theory about this, so let's explore a little bit. White can play bishop g5 or take on e6. Those are the most common. Bishop g5 looks better. And here black can take on d5 or play queen a5 check. But taking on d5 looks better. White takes back, and here black can play d6, h6, or queen a5 check again. Here queen a5 is actually better than in the last move. It's probably the best option here. But well, okay, let's explore it, because now knight c3 is met with knight e4 usually, but also just bishop e7 is really good. Only 5 games with bishop e7, but let's give it a chance. Here, white has played usually d6, driving that bishop away. I mean, of course it's protected by the queen, so bishop stays on that diagonal, and then queen d3, c4, queen e3, giving up castling, and here white has castled long or played queen c5, but black has won both games. I don't know if that's coincidence, but let's back down and look at the more common lines. Yeah, of course, knight e4, and now white can play bishop d2 or queen d3, supporting the c3 knight, which is pinned. Bishop d2 breaks the pin, so it looks better. And here, knight takes d2, d6, and e4, and now this is really good for white. So perhaps knight e4 is not good for black. Yeah, black has this weak d6 pawn, and white has some control in the center, and he also has good prospects for this knight, I guess. And well, I don't know what to do with this bishop, but maybe he could develop it somehow like this. Okay, let's go back. So here, instead of queen a5, black can also play h6 or d6. h6 looks bad. Just in case your opponent plays h6, you can just you can take on f6 or play bishop h4, which is even better. Here, bishop b7 works for black, or d6, and uh, this is quite drawish actually. Um, if black plays d6 instead, you can go for e4. Well, I guess you can also go with bishop b7 to e4 maybe, unless these become too weak. So Also, let's just look at d6, the most popular one. e4, also e3 is possible. That commits no weaknesses. And a4, striking at this seemingly strong pawn structure. And here white can just take the f6 knight and start hacking on the queen side. Can give the b pawn even. White hasn't lost this position, only draws and wins. So bishop d3, knight b d2, bishop takes a6. All of them are good. Bishop d3 looks best, and then castles, bishop b7, developing knight. Knight is gonna go to c5. A takes b5, and white is rounding up his striking from the side, and let's see how to play the middle game. White's trying to increase pressure all the time by improving the position of his pieces. And here, excellent move. Black is not recapturing because then that pawn could be a problem. White's gonna exchange rooks, and then um, black can't touch that pawn immediately. He can. I don't know if he can support it, but maybe something like knight here, and or well, black didn't take it anyway. Now white takes a bishop, and yeah, these are wins for white. So where should we go back? We looked at d6 from this position. Let's go back a little bit and see what black can do in this initial position. Also, queen a5 here is okay. White has several responses. Queen d2, knight c3, knight b d2. Knight b d2 seems to work best. It's not the most common, but this is actually crushing for white. e4, g3, and I'm interested to see how this follows up. Well, now it branches out, so we can't follow, but I don't know, maybe it was a coincidence that white won, but I think his structure is more healthy. So also queen d2, exchange of queens, and the situation is a little bit different. I have to take on f6 to be able to play. Oh, he didn't take with the knight on c4. Okay. And this could go either way. And still look at knight c3 here. Knight e4, okay. Bishop d2, takes on d2. Is black playing for a draw? I wouldn't blame him. And this is quite okay for black. White's pawns are not going anywhere, and yeah. So also black can play h6, but it doesn't look good for black. So what else can white play? I mean, first moves in the Blumenfeld Gambit. He can take on e6. It's also very popular. Here, black takes with the f pawn, and then white takes the b pawn. Okay, black plays d5, has a strong center, and now white has a couple of choices: e3, g3, or knight c3 being the main options here. If e3, then bishop d6, knight c3, castles, bishop e2, and this is good for black. So this puts a question on d takes e6 if that was a good move in the first place. And if g3, then also bishop d6, or queen a5 looks really good for black too. Here maybe only bishop d2 works, or knight c3 also. Because now black takes the b pawn. Yeah, actually, let's look at knight c3. Ah, there's d4. So, okay, it's a nice tactic to save the b pawn, and then it's still okay for white for some reason. Let's look at the game that white won. Oh, knight a3, of course. So, knight e5, hitting the bishop. Black gets the b pawn, but okay, it's a strong bishop. So is this a tactical win? Was black actually having a better position? That's possible also. So yeah, now the material is just overwhelming. So okay, but queen a5 looks really playable here. The most common, of course, being bishop d6, and this gives a good game for white. After bishop g2, castle, bishop b7, knight d2, and b3. Also fianchetting the other bishop. Yeah, white has a lot of control, indirect control in the center. Black has the pawns, but white has the piece power. so yeah, g3 is also good if black doesn't play uh, queen a5 check. And let's look at knight c3. That seems to score well for white. First taking on e6 and then playing knight c3. So bishop b7 here, e4, very bold move, and black doesn't want to take. He doesn't want to give up castling because the center is really torn to shreds already. So he rather just plays d4, and here white retaliates e5, knight d7, knight b1, and this can also turn out to be good for black, but white can also win. There's two example games here. I'm not gonna look at them now because that's more like middle game study. So so yeah, this is something that could happen after uh, d takes e, and I think those are the main continuations here, so I think we know a thing or two about the Blumenfeld Gambit now. Thank you for watching, take care.